Pack your boots, put on your dancing boots. No time to waste. Oh, ready, set, and go. Yay, fire up the show. Oh, ready, set, and go. Let the good times flow.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Same Bet. Tonight, we have my very good friend, Rick from Let It Roll. And I don't say that as a patronizing thing. Rick really is one of my best friends that I have. So I am very excited to have him with us. You know, Rick, he has one of the most popular YouTube channels out there on the game of craps. He has over 7,000 subscribers. I should have that number for you, but 7,000. Let that sink in for just a minute. 7,000 people have hit that button saying that they want to subscribe to his content. So not only that, you know, Rick has all sorts of strategies that he plays. He analyzes the strategies. He talks about different ways of doing them. He's not just a regurgitation of something that he saw. He actually thinks about this and provides some value. And not only that, Rick has authorized permission to videotape in 3 different casinos that I know of right now, and we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. He's not just somebody that's sneaking a video camera in there. He's actually got permission from the marketing teams, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring Rick on. Rick, welcome to the show.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me, Dave. It's an honor, brother. I love your show, man. It's top notch.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You know, this is I think that our viewers are probably going to see a little bit different side of me, maybe, because I'm more relaxed with you. Like I said in the intro, you know, we've been friends for a little bit over 2 years now.
Yes, definitely.
You know, and I'm proud to count you as one of my best friends. So, Rick,
Right.
welcome, and I appreciate you being here for me, brother.
I appreciate it.
All right. So before we get into some of the topics that I wanted to talk about, just tell everybody out there, we're going to do a Q&A session with Rick here in a few minutes. If you would do me a favor, when you're putting a comment out there, put a big old Q, a capital Q, so I recognize it as a question, and we'll bring it in. If you're asking something that's relevant to what he's talking about, I'll try to bring it on immediately. Otherwise, I'll save it for a Q&A session here in a little while. All right, Rick, why don't we go ahead and get started and tell us a little bit about your YouTube journey?
All right. Well, it started for me a little over 2 years ago. So for those of you that don't know me or haven't watched any of my beginning videos that I put out, I basically started 2.5 years ago. I had seen a video that showed up in my YouTube feed about the Dice Dominator. So I don't know how many of you have seen that. It was on the History Channel, I believe. I don't know why it showed up in my feed, but it piqued my interest because I'm very competitive. I coached football for a lot of years, and I taught, you know, trying to think positive, things like that. Well, I don't know why, but I watched this video, and he talked about setting the dice, throwing the dice, being able to get an edge on the casino. And, you know, I'm getting older, so I don't play like the men's basketball leagues anymore, none of that stuff. But I had to find something to do. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to build me a craps table. And then I started thinking, you know, it'd be kind of cool to do like a reality show. So for those of you that haven't watched the beginning stuff, that's really why I started this channel, is for people to watch me as a beginner and see the process play out, you know. Watch me hopefully go to what I called an advantage player. So 2 years in, I've played a ton of craps at home, of course, tons of strategies, things like that. And then that's why I started doing the strategies. I started having people send me their favorite strategies because I thought that would kill 2 birds with 1 stone. First of all, it would give me some knowledge. It would give me things that I could look at to start building the things that I like in a strategy, and then share it with the YouTube world. For those of you that aren't very comfortable with craps or whatever, it might give you something you could take to the casino to try. But were you going to say something, Dave? I kind of heard you popping in there.
Yeah, and I want to break format for just a second. There's a recognition session that I like to do, and tonight the person that I'm going to recognize is actually in the audience. I reached out to him, and he's only got a few minutes before he has to go off to work. So I'm just going to say it out there. John from ProCraps. This past weekend, he ran a craps-a-thon, and I'm hoping that John can come on for just a few minutes to talk a little bit about it. The short story is he raised almost $6,000 for the National Council on Problem Gaming. And, that's just amazing. Hang on one second. I think he's joining us now. Let's see here. John, can you hear me? Let's see here. I apologize for the technical difficulties here, guys. Let me do this on the fly. Add a guest here. I know the screen's black. Hang on one second.
You're on the side view.
There we go. John, can you hear us?
There we go. Hey. Yeah, how you doing?
There we go. So, John, I just wanted to take a moment out of my podcast to say thank you so much for what you did this past weekend. It was
You're on the side
24 hours of
John, can you hear us?
YouTube.
Yep.
We've got some feedback, John. Do you
Yeah,
have
I was on feedback, so I'm sorry. I had you on Firefox as I was going there.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
All right, so let me flip back over here. So, John, can you tell us just a little bit about what that 24 hours was all about?
Well, we were raising money for the National Council on Problem Gambling. So it was all about raising money for folks who have gambling addiction or gambling issues in general. The organization, that's who you call when you have a problem. They have a 24-hour chat, 24-hour phone-in line. They're the National Gamblers Anonymous, essentially. So thought it was, since we all run Craps YouTube channels and we're all in this community together, time to get our collective voices out there and sort of, raise some awareness on that and raise some money to help. It was fantastic. We raised a ton of money and we did 24 hours straight live stream. So a big shout out's got to go, honestly, to the technology behind that. I mean, you and I both use Ecamm. That thing didn't quit for 24 straight hours, the full stream. And we're not for a screw up in the beginning. Streamed it to 15 other YouTube channels at the same time without quitting. No hiccups, nothing. I'm shocked it was even possible, frankly. So it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, so the National Association, I'm going to butcher it, for gambling addictions. Council, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So the money that was raised, it didn't go through, you never see a penny of it, right? It just...
No, it was direct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I set up through a GoFundMe, which they take a little, like 1.5% or something to run their thing, but it goes from that right to the National Council. It bypasses me altogether. In fact, I got like 5 or 6 super chats during the night.
Yeah.
YouTube, of course, takes their cut of that, but I'm going to pull those down and send those through as well. So those donations will be a little less than they should have been, but that's going to go through on the same thing.
Yeah.
And I think if 4 or 5 people paid through PayPal for their auction items, but PayPal, when I redirect it to the National Council, I can go right from there to there. They'll reduce the fee on that. So those donations will go straight through.
So people were able to donate directly, and they were also able to bid on maybe, 20 or so items.
That's right.
Really quick, can you kind of give us a rundown of what were the big items there?
The big items, the biggest item was Jeremy from Color Up donated his layout that he did all 400 and some videos on before he upgraded his layout. He bidded on that. And the good news, the interesting news, the guy who bid on that and won it doesn't want it. I have to tell Jeremy this. He actually said, you know what? I just wanted to raise, he said, I was giving $700 no matter what. I wanted to start the bidding on that. And the guy that won the Big AZ, day with Big AZ, he's going to go golfing, spend a whole day with Big AZ. Same thing. So I just wanted to get a bidding war going. And so both those guys kind of pushed that thing up. So we're going to have Jeremy's layout again for another one.
Nice,
Which
very
is great.
nice.
But all told, we raised $5,996. Isn't that insane?
That is amazing, John.
In one day. In one day.
One 24-hour period. So,
yeah.
Our friend George, he likes to say about the Craps Nation, we step in, we step up. And that past 24 hours, everybody did turn out and they stepped up. So
it was absolutely insane. It was unreal. Can't even thank everybody enough.
So one question before I let you go.
Sure.
If people didn't see it, actually 2 questions. If they didn't
Sure.
see it, how can they watch the Craps-a-thon?
Okay.
And number 2, can they still donate? Is it too late?
Yes, on both. So today only, it's on my channel. The whole thing's on my channel. There's two versions of it. The first 12 hours where I streamed it without getting the simulcast going. The second 12 hours also on my channel, but it's also on everybody else's channel. So if you're going to be on your channel, I think it's on El Toro's got it. 555 has it. A lot of folks have it. Jeff from Mid-Atlantic. It's all on all the channels. I'm going to work tonight on chopping it up because I recorded the whole thing too into like 45-minute segments and posting them as individual videos because waiting through 24 hours of video will be impossible to find what you want.
Yeah.
So I'm going to slice out all the technical glitches and give you just the goodness.
Well,
And
for
you'll have
those
all
of
that.
you who are not familiar with video editing, I do not envy you on this task. 40,
That's
that's a lot of chunks of video.
No question. And the donation link will be up. The auction is over, but the donation link will be up still. I can send that to you over Slack,
Okay.
and then you can post that up as well.
Actually,
Yeah.
it's in the description already. I already knew the answer to that question. It's
that's
in the
perfect.
description. So, everybody, if you have not had a chance to donate a little bit of money to this wonderful organization, check out the description. There is a link, and like I said, we don't see that money at all. It goes directly to the organization. So,
Yeah.
we need $4, people, to get over that $6,000 mark. So somebody out there
$4
help us out.
Right, that'll do it. Awesome.
Yeah. All right, John. I won't keep you.
Thanks, Dave.
I'm going to get back to Rick. Thanks for jumping in.
You got
Though.
it, Rick. Looking forward to the
Hey,
interview.
let me say something to John real quick. Can I?
Go for
Yeah.
it.
Hey, John, great job, brother. I popped in and out all day long and watched that stuff. I appreciate what you did and what you're doing for those
Thanks.
in need. It's really important because we all have these craps channels and everybody sees that. But I think all of us understand the fact that this is entertainment, and we need to make sure people realize that. And there's some people that take it, the wrong way. They get into that addiction or whatever the case may be. So
That's so true.
thanks for doing what you did. Yeah, thanks for doing what you did. And then the second thing is, go Cardinals, baby. I'm a Cardinals fan.
Oh,
I seen
no.
your Seahawks shirt.
See, now we can't be friends, man. Actually, I have a lot
We
of
can
good
still
friends.
be friends.
It's all good. It's funny because I'm
No.
a Philly fan too, and I used to hate the Arizona when they were in St. Louis.
Oh yeah. But great job, brother. I appreciate
Great.
what you did.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
All
Take
right,
care.
guys.
All right,
John,
bye.
thank you. We'll talk to you later.
You got it. Yeah.
All right, Rick. Let's. I'm sorry about that introduction, but I knew
No,
John
that was
short
great.
on time, so I
That
wanted
needed to
bring
be said. That needed to be said. That's very important for people to realize. Make sure you guys go check out John's channel and donate to that.
All right, so let's kind of recap. You a couple of years ago, you decided you wanted to make a YouTube channel. You wanted to learn the game of craps, and I believe in your bio or your description, you talk about it's a craps journey, and you wanted to
Right.
document that journey. And along the way,
Exactly.
you got popular. you are one of the most popular videos or YouTube creators out there on the game of craps. So
Well,
maybe talk a little
the
bit about
crazy
that.
thing is, yeah. I mean, popularity. It's just more. I mean, I didn't do it to be popular. I did it just so people could see me start, from a beginner and hopefully become an advantage player. Just something for them to watch, entertainment. But I think one thing is that people can see that I'm genuine. I don't want to see people lose money. I want them to understand, go for fun, take what you can afford to lose. So hopefully, if you call it popular, that's not what I'm looking for. But hopefully, I can shed a positive light on the game of craps, and of course, bring some meaning to it, so it doesn't become an addiction or whatever. That's what I'm hoping for.
So the majority of your videos out there are strategy based. And one of the things that you do that I don't see anybody else on YouTube doing is you will talk about the strategy for maybe 8 to 10 minutes or so. And then the next, I don't remember if it's the next night or a couple nights later, you actually roll out the strategy.
Yeah, a couple nights.
Yeah. So
Right.
what was your thought process behind that?
Well, I thought it would give more value because there again, when you're showing strategies, I want people to understand that the dice have to roll the correct way. It doesn't matter. There's no magic strategy. So I figured if I could teach the strategy, what it will do is it will give them ammunition at the casino, meaning it gives them some structure while they're there playing, but it doesn't guarantee they're going to win. And so that's why I play it live also, so they can see possibly maybe if I decide to make some adjustments, or they can see it win or lose. And if I don't forget, if it wins, I try to like to let people know it happened to win tonight, but it's not guaranteed to win when you play. So
Yeah.
I just think it's really cool to teach the strategy, let them see it, and then let them see what can happen with it, good or bad.
Yeah. So, just like you, there's another popular YouTuber out there that does strategies. Of course, it's Jeremy from Color Up. And Jeremy
Right.
has his format is he will show or he will talk about the strategy for 2 or 3 minutes before he starts to roll it out. But even by his own admission, some of the strategies are pretty complex or they have a lot of conditions. So that's why I really like that you take the time to really go in depth. Now,
Right.
another thing that you do that we don't often see is the variations. So you will talk about the strengths of a strategy, the weaknesses of a strategy, and how you
Right.
might tweak it depending on some circumstances to make it a little bit stronger. That, my friend,
Exactly.
is unique, and then
Right.
that definitely adds value.
Well,
So
and there again, there's a lot of people out there that are fairly new to the game. So I think that helps them to see when you can make adjustments. You can go dark side, light side. You could, maneuver things to just, match what the table's doing a little bit better.
yeah. Let's see here. I've got a couple of comments out there. Roll to win craps. Glad to see Rick on. He really makes he makes me want to go to Colorado, and we're going to talk about Colorado here in just a few minutes. Another one, best Rick moment when he hit the marching soldier. I'll never forget his reaction.
That was crazy. That was crazy. I wish it was for real money though.
Talking about the marching soldier, I believe it was our friend Sleepy2525 who talked about it. And you were rolling it out, but maybe you're not even aware of this, but there is a podcast called "You Can Bet on That" with Mark Duvall and Dr. Mike. Very popular podcast. They talk about the marching soldier. They saw your video, they took it to the casino, and they actually play it from time to time. So,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
That's cool.
I'll
Yeah.
have to find that podcast where they start talking about it. And they give you credit, so they're not trying to take the credit for themselves. So,
Right.
I guess people of influence watch your videos.
Well, that's cool. That's I'm honored. But I didn't start that strategy also. So just to let you know, I can't even remember who. Oh, somebody
It was
sent it in
Sleepy,
to me.
wasn't it?
There was well, no, actually, there was a subscriber that sent it in to me.
Okay.
He had mentioned it, and then I did it, and then Sleepy started doing it as we were playing throughout the days. You know how we play on Skype and stuff. People started tweaking it a
Yeah.
little bit. They started putting it on their channels. So I don't take credit for the marching soldier. It was a subscriber that asked me to try it out, and then it just, it is fun to do.
And
It's a long shot, but it's fun to do.
it's also very, very difficult to give proper credit on where these strategies come from.
Yeah,
Very
exactly.
difficult. So,
Right.
all
Hey,
right, so
one thing real quick. One thing I'm going to interrupt you because I saw Adam Harbinson just popped in and he said, he was saying good job and stuff. But I just wanted to let everybody know he had messaged me on Facebook and he sent me a little picture of his baby watching my channel at night. And he said it was a nightly ritual. So I just want to thank him for sending that to me. And I just want to let you guys know I must be pretty boring because I'm thinking that's how he puts her to sleep.
oh wow.
But
All right, so when strategies is just one of the things that you do. You also got permission to film in the casinos. What gave you the guts to even go ask, "Hey, can I film here live?"
well, it goes back to my whole journey, my beginning as a beginner little over 2 years ago to hopefully becoming an advantage player. For those of you that didn't know that, I started thinking, that would be awesome for people to be able to see my journey, even with real money. So if you guys go back to the beginning of my channel and look at some of my beginning live videos from Bronco Billy's, you'll see how scared I was to play the game and how I didn't really understand it. I did a lot of hedging. I played the dark side 95%. Actually, I played it all the time because I was pretty scared to lose the money. I didn't really understand the game well. Um, and so I played a lot of the dark side with some place bets.
Mm.
And I don't mind that today. I will still do that today. I just do it a lot less than I used to. I tend to pick a side now and go with it. But yeah, so that was what it was about. It was like, wouldn't that be awesome for people to see me play with real money? And so that's what sparked the idea to tie into everything that I was trying to accomplish. So, that's where the thought came from.
So, when you first started filming in the casino, was it just bubble craps, or did you go straight into the table games?
It was straight into the table games. Yeah, that's where I started, was with the table games. I think I did have maybe one or two bubble craps before table games, but I mainly went table games after that. And then I started with bubble craps a few months later.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna see if I can pull in. I know it's black here for a second. Give me 1 second. Oop, there we go. I guess you can't really tell here, but you and Jeremy from Color Up, you're both at a bubble craps machine right now. I
Oh
can't
yeah,
remember what
we
casino that
had a
was
blast.
actually at. Yeah.
That was probably at the Grand Z at that time.
Okay. Okay. So, what casino was it that allowed you to film first? Was it Century?
No, it was actually Bronco Billy's.
Bronco
So
Billy's.
that's in
Okay.
Cripple Creek, Colorado. I started it at Bronco Billy's. I played there probably a good 5 to 6 months before I got up the courage to ask them to let me film. Now, when I say 5 to 6 months, though, I only went once a month. So I had been there maybe 5 or 6 times before I asked them. And basically, I was just letting them get to know me, see that I'm trustworthy, see that I'm, a guy that likes to have fun. I treated them well. They treated me well. And that's how I ended up getting in, is they got to know me basically. So then I just said, hey, I have a YouTube channel. And then I just, pitched my idea to them. I like to show people, where I stand, let them watch me win or lose real money. So that's, they're like, hey, you seem like a good dude, so we'll go ahead and let you do it.
Yeah.
So that's how that came about, and that's where it started.
Yeah. So Bronco Billy's, and then Century City,
Central
Central
City, yeah.
Central City Century Casino. Um,
Exactly.
I know you filmed quite a bit there while they still had the tables. Unfortunately, they don't have the craps table right now.
Right. Yep.
But fingers crossed that they're going to bring that thing back. But one of the things I wanted to ask you is, have you received any feedback from the casino? Did they see any benefit from letting you film there?
Definitely, both casinos. When I was at Bronco Billy's, I had walked in 1 month to go film, and excuse me, the dealers were telling me that some guy from the western slope of Colorado came into play because he watched my channel, and he dropped 9 grand there. So
Hmm.
they told me that there's quite a few people that go. They just want to go check out the place, not because of me. I'm thinking, of course, it's cool. Like me, when I watch YouTube videos, it's like, man, I'd like to go check that place out. So yeah, there was quite a few people that went to play at Bronco Billy's, just out of curiosity. And then the same thing at Century, of course. We brought them lots of business. People would come and ask if they knew if I was going to be playing that weekend, or whatever, and they'd play. So it's a good thing for the casinos also.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, just a reminder to the people in the audience: if you have a question for Rick, put it in the comments. I'm trying to monitor them as we go along and trying to grab a few for a Q&A session that we'll have towards the end of this. So if you would put a Q so I can quickly identify it as a question, and we'll get them answered here as soon as we can. All right, Rick. So you've also filmed in the El Cortez in Vegas.
Right.
What was that like?
That was awesome. Now I got to give credit to Mel from Craps Hawaii for that. That was his doing. He set that up. He talked to the manager there, and he let them know that we both have YouTube channels. And so he mentioned that I was going to be in Vegas at the same time as him, and if they would allow me to film also. So shout out to Mel from Craps Hawaii. He's one of our brothers. You know that, Dave.
Hmm.
We've got a small group of people that we don't call friends, we call brothers. And Mel is one of those people that just, he's family. And so yeah, that's how I ended up at El Cortez. The experience was amazing. They treat you great. I'm going to give a shout out to El Cortez also. For those of you watching and those of you that are talking about like casinos in Vegas or wherever you're at, most of you guys know that they're all corporate now. So it's really hard to get comps. It's all on the computers. You got to give them your card and then they give you what they feel it's worth based on your play. Well, El Cortez is one of those that's not like that. They'll literally comp you, you know, based on, whatever they're filling that day, maybe. I don't
Hmm.
know. They might give you $400 in comps just to give it to you because they can. So for those of you that go to Vegas, make sure you pop in and play at El Cortez and see what they can do for you. They're not corporate. They're family. They're like a family run business and they treated us just like that. So make sure you stop in and see what they can do for you when you get to Vegas.
Awesome. All right, I just saw a comment come through that we're going to use this as a transition. Gambling in Colorado has changed over the past year. Can you talk a little bit about it? And I'm going to put David's comment up here as well while you're starting that.
Okay. So yeah, it has changed. They upped the limits, which now makes it basically where you can go all in. Uh, Before, I think it was in March last year, if I remember, either March or May, is when the limits got raised. Before that, everything was $100 max. So when I went over there, I actually did a podcast live from Blackhawk. For those of you that are considering coming to Blackhawk and you kind of want to get an idea, if you look back either in March or May, I can't remember, on my channel, I have like an hour podcast where I walk the whole town. I talk to each of the casinos to see what their maxes and their mins are. And of course, things may have changed a tiny bit since then. But you can kind of get an idea of what max and mins are at the casinos in the Blackhawk area. But it changed the whole landscape of gambling there. And you can now, you can bet big bucks now.
Did it change the table limits? Are you seeing higher limits there now that you can bet higher?
Definitely. You very rarely see a $5 table anymore. You will see tons of $10 tables during the day. And even at night, you could find $10 tables. But they're mainly 15 to 25 now, which kind of is a bummer because I'm more of a casual gambler. I don't really like to play $25 tables. Although I got Melitis,
Hmm.
Mel from Craps Hawaii. He got me off the porch, so to speak. So I have a hard time regressing now. It's nothing but press, press, press. So I don't mind playing $25 tables, but I still like the fives and tens if I could find them.
Yeah. I'm going to put David's question back up here. He says, my wife and mother in law want to visit Colorado this summer. What are some good places to stay and play?
Depending on what you're planning on doing, if you're bringing the family, first of all, if and this is directed just in general, because I know you didn't state this, but in general, if you're coming to Colorado to gamble and you have kids or whatever, there's absolutely nothing for kids to do. There's two hotels there that have swimming pools. So, it's not really kid friendly. So I'll just get that out, even though he didn't ask that. His wife and mother, if they're gamblers, it's a really nice little town. It's excellent. It's fun. You've got your higher end casinos and the lower end casinos. The good thing about the lower end casinos is they're not like the bad side of town of Vegas or whatever. The lower end casinos aren't like run down in a ghetto area. They're just less populated. They're not as nicely equipped, but they're very clean. They're nice casinos. So you've got higher end and lower end. You've got the ones that you'll spend a lot of money to stay at, and ones that you won't spend so much. All of them are clean. But if he's looking to stay at one of the nicer places, the two choices, the tiers I would put would be the Monarch and Maristar would be tier one, like the top choice. And then like a middle tier would probably be the Lodge and the Isle. And then from there, you're looking at, some of the cheaper ones. But when I say cheaper, like I said, I'm not scared to go there, and you shouldn't be scared to go there. They're clean. They just don't have all the fancy stuff. Would be like the Lady Luck, and then you can go like to the Grand Z over in Central City, the Century Casino. Um, those are the Century is kind of high priced,
Yeah.
and a quality casino, but it's in Central City, not Blackhawk.
Yeah, and the distance between Central City and Blackhawk is 1 mile, so
Yeah, it's real close. You feel
so
like you're in the same town, honestly.
yeah, you do. I was also going to say the Isle and Lady Luck Casino are now El Dorado properties. So
Yes, that just
if you're
happened.
the person who made the comment, I don't know if you have Caesar's points, that's something you might want to consider. You might be able to use. I've used my Caesar's points at the Isle before, so had some free stays there. I did. I really liked the Isle. It was clean. It was one of the nicer places, I think. I've stayed at the Grand Z. Nothing wrong with that place. And I've also stayed at Lady Luck. But it's like you said, it's not kid friendly. There's not much for kids to do. There's not anything in the way of shopping, and
Right.
there's actually very little in the way of restaurants. At least last time that I was there. That being
Yeah,
said,
restaurants are all in casinos. There's nothing outside the casinos that you can go to. There's no stores. There's no, actually there's like a coffee shop, but it's just basically a casino
mhm,
town.
yeah. But I was also going to say that Blackhawk is actually, I almost would rate it higher than Vegas. I like the small casinos. I like the atmosphere there. I love being up in the mountains. I love going up into Colorado in the summertime when it's 110 degrees here in Wichita and it's only 78 degrees up in the mountains. Man, there's nothing better than that. The
Right.
casinos are
I
all
agree.
within walking distance. Yeah, pretty much within walking distance. It's a wonderful place to go, and I would say if you have an opportunity, go spend a few days in the Blackhawk area. Or you can even, if you're going to stay in Denver, it's only a 30 to 40-minute drive from, I
Right.
think it's from the Denver airport.
The west
So
side of Denver, yeah.
yeah, so it's definitely worth a trip, especially if you want to be up in the mountains. So so, but that's very Blackhawk centric. One of the places that I haven't been in years is Cripple Creek. Can you tell us a little bit about gambling down there?
Definitely. There again, it's real family oriented. They feel more like family owned casinos. As you're driving into Cripple Creek, you're coming through a really beautiful mountain pass. If you're coming from Colorado Springs, so you're in the mountains for a good half hour. As you start going down into the canyon of Cripple Creek, you can see the whole town. It was an old mining town, very small. I call it a one horse town. When you drive into Cripple Creek, you feel like you're going back to the 1800s. And that's actually what I like. It's a feeling you get. You feel like you're gambling, the same places that Wyatt Earp did, and all the different people back in the 1800s, and all the cowboys and Indians and stuff like that. And they kept the same buildings, so you're going to see buildings there from mid 1800s, and they turned them into casinos. So it's just a different vibe. There again, when you talk Cripple Creek and Black Hawk, it's not a Las Vegas vibe at all. Um, you're there to gamble, and it's not a nightlife place. You're not going to go there and find nightlife or anything. But that's kind of what I describe it as: is a one horse town that's very comfortable. If you plan on gambling, it's amazing, man. Nothing like it.
So I'm going to go back. It was last winter, I believe. It might have been 2 years now. You did a video as you walked through town of different ice sculptures. So there was some sort of contest. So
Right.
it's not all gambling. There is a little culture there, if you want to call ice sculptures
Yeah.
culture. But uh,
Yep.
so
And
we
that's
don't.
this time of the year they do that. They do
Yeah.
that. They light it up for Christmas and they do stuff like that. So
So I have to ask our friend Eddie Bird Dog 301 put a comment out there. It says, I have a great story about Rick and Cripple Creek when we first met for the first time. So since we don't have Bird Dog on here, can you tell us about that story?
so there again, for those of you that don't know me, like I said, I try to be an honest person with my channel. I try to be Really, what I want it to be is like you're hanging out with me. I want you to feel like you know me, like we're friends and we're just hanging out. That's why you're watching my channel. So, anyways, Bird Dog contacted me. He had his channel and he said, "Hey, man, I'm going to be in Colorado. Can we meet in Cripple Creek to throw some dice?" And I didn't know Eddie from, Adam. I mean, he just contacted me. I knew his channel and stuff. But I thought, man, it'd be cool to meet this YouTuber. So I was like, yeah, we'll meet up there. So, we get up there. Now, Eddie doesn't really know any of my personal life, how I really am or whatever. So I don't drink, I'm not a drinker. And Eddie gets abbreviated. That's how drunk he gets. He can't say inebriated. He's abbreviated. So Eddie says, "Hey man, let's get a drink or whatever." This is when we're there. I think it's like 7 in the morning and stuff. No, I'm just kidding. It was already afternoon. It was afternoon. But anyways, so I was like, man, I don't usually drink, but I'll do it to be social with you. So we go up to the bar and I decided I'm going to drink a margarita because I hate beer. I've tasted beer. I hate it. And so I tell the bartender, you know what? Give me a margarita, but only put half the alcohol. And Eddie looked at me and he died laughing. And the funny thing was the bartender looked at me and his jaw dropped. He's like, dude, I've never heard that before. He said, most people want 2 or 3 times the alcohol. So that's the Bird Dog story right there.
Well, there's a couple of other stories that we can tell. And why don't you tell the story about the time you and I played Bubble Craps together at the, I think it was at Grand Z.
At the Grand Z? Oh, okay. So for those of you there again that don't know me personally, I mean, and we'll hear his side of the story because Dave never told me his side of the story, but I'm a jokester, man. I love to have fun. There again, I go and I like to do things and I love to have fun. So Dave, I think we had met one other time though, hadn't we?
Yeah.
Then?
Yeah, I think this was our
So I think this was the second time because we went on the train ride and everything this trip. But anyways, to make a long story short, we're both sitting there playing Bubble Craps. And for those of you that watch Dave's channel know that like when he plays, he doesn't play a ton of money, and so he's a little bit scared is what I say. He don't well or I should say he's smart. He don't like to lose, a lot of money. Anyways, I think you had about $80 or $90 in your machine and you're like, "Hey, I got to go to the bathroom. Can you watch my machine for me?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." So he takes off and I get this bright idea. I'm like, I'm going to play a joke on Dave. So I go and I cash out his ticket. So when he comes back, it shows 0 on the machine. And I was like, "Dave, I'm sorry, bro." I said, the machine was rolling good. And I thought that it was going to hit this and I just put you all in. And you should have seen Dave's face, man. It was white as a ghost, brother. It was funny. He looked at me and you could tell he wasn't mad at me, but he was like shocked. He was like, okay, yeah, that's okay. He was just trying to play it off like he was fine with me losing all of his money. But anyway, so yeah, then I told him, "I'm just kidding, Dave. Here's your ticket." But what did you think when you saw the 0? Did you believe me?
Well, so many thoughts were running through my head at the same time. My first thought was, oh crap, that's about a third of my bankroll. I'm going to be here for a couple of days and it's gone. There's a reason I play low. So that was my very first thought. And then I started to think, something's not quite right.
I kind of know Rick already.
Yeah. It's like I've heard stories about this guy. So
we had fun though. You got to admit, it was fun.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah. And then there's one more story that I'd like for you to tell before we go too far. We were playing at Lady Luck, and
oh gosh,
we had a stick man with a northeastern accent. I don't know, Jersey, something like that, and he. I can't remember who the shooter was. It was either
it was Sleepy. I remember what you're talking about because I was pissed. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So Sleepy wanted to place the point. Let's say it was an 8. I can't remember what it was, but instead of letting Sleepy put the money out there and it travels up to the 8, he wanted him to straddle the pass line. That indicates that it's a place bet. And I can't remember what it was, but man, something he said just really set you off. And
Well, the whole thing was is that I wasn't paying attention. Me and Mel were standing at the end of the table. At this time, guys, they only had half the table open, so it was Sleepy playing, it was Dave, and another friend of mine, Jeremiah, Altitude Gambler. Um, those three were on the table on the opposite side that was open. So me and Mel were just standing at the back side of the table on the opposite side, just talking and laughing and joking. So I really wasn't in on that whole conversation, what was going on. I just seen that the flow of the game changed, the attitudes changed a little bit, and nothing was happening. No dice were being thrown, and then I looked up. So I really didn't even know what was going on. And I saw Sleepy just telling the guy, "This is what I want. This is what I want to do." And so that's what kind of just kind of irked me because I mean, you know me, dude. I tip the dealers well, and so I feel they're a customer service job. And so you guys all came from different states to play with me, and it just got under my skin. So I basically just told the dealer, look, just do what he wants you to do. That's your job. And do it with a smile on your face, basically, is what I was saying. It doesn't matter if there's a different way you can do it. If he asks you to do it that way, just do it that way.
yeah,
But I mean, it was a little more heated than that, I think, if I remember right.
yeah.
Mel and everybody was shocked. You know, I'm a very nice guy, easygoing guy, but don't mess with my friends.
Don't mess with don't mess with Rick's friends, and
Yeah.
you don't want to see him when he's angry. You know, you said something also that I forgot about that I do want to bring up. The topic of tipping. I'm a pretty good tipper. You're an amazing tipper.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your strategy around tipping.
Well, what I try to do is I do it just first of all, you know, out of respect. I know that they get very few tips. As much as I've been playing, I go into the casino a lot. I see what happens. And all of you out there watching right now, you guys can all attest to this. If you just think about any session that you've been at recently, you'll see some tips. Don't get me wrong, but it's not, you know, it's not a ton of tips consistently. And so I don't tip like tons of money all at once. I'll do it throughout the night, and I will grow as the rolls grow, I'll keep adding tips. So, you know, I may start out, let's say when I was in Vegas with Mel, I was doing an iron cross version of like his easy. Basically, I was doing Mel's easy. So I would put a $60 eight, a $60 six, 35 in the field, and then I'd hop the fives for $4, which left a dollar in that layout. And so I would tell them to put the dollar on the six or the eight. And then on my first hit, you know, I'd add money for their tips. And then I'd wait a few rolls. If I get 3, 4, 5 rolls in, now I'm in the profit. Then I'll start adding more dollars to their tips, whether it's every roll or when I get a good score, I'll add another dollar or two and start stacking their tips up and stuff. But that's kind of my philosophy is that they, you know, do you need to tip? No, you don't. It's their job to do that. But
Yeah.
that's just my personality. It's not, you know, it's not that everybody should tip. It's just how I approach the game.
One of the things that I think is a little bit different about you than the average player, or at least different than me, I'll tip on my own hand, and I like to tip. I have a lot of fun with it. But you were tipping on a lot of different people. You didn't wait till you were the shooter to start putting tips out there.
No, I'll usually tip on every shooter if, you know, if my day isn't going so bad. Even if I'm losing, I still tip. Because I just kind of build that into the game. I build that into my hand or whatever, you know, whoever's throwing, I consider it the hand because I'm betting it. So I just kind of already build that in and let them have some fun. You know, how fun would it be if you were a dealer and, you know, you had somebody that would tip every hand, you know, and gave you a chance to win. So like I said, I go for fun. I'm there for entertainment. So yeah, I do want to win. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, I mean, it's just,
Yeah. Well,
get
I was going to
involved.
say,
That's
just
how I
like
look
you
at it.
look out for your friends, you were looking out for the dealers too. When we were in Central City up at the Century Casino, you were starting to make some bets, and you were actually telling the people at the table, "Hey, come on, guys, let's get some money going for the dealers." So you were
Yeah.
you were an instigator in a very good and positive way.
Well, that's when I mean when the table's winning, yeah, let's keep the vibe. I always believe in, good karma. So I
Yeah.
just, I feel like what goes around comes around. Good vibes bring, positive results.
Yeah.
That's my hopes anyway.
Yeah. All right, guys. So why don't we take a minute and start doing some of the Q&A, and then Rick, I want to come back and close out the show talking a little bit about your channel, maybe what's coming up and what's been happening and things like that. So let's take a
Okay.
look at some of the questions coming through here. Um, and I'm sorry, these are not going to come out in the order that you put them in. I don't know how my software organizes this, but they are out of order. We've got to go Otto Kazmer. When are you coming to Arizona again?
My plan is the end of this month. The end of this month, right after Christmas, I plan on being there. I'm going to go play with a few friends. I'm going to get in contact with Big AZ, see if he wants to go throw some dice. But I have some good friends there in Arizona. Fuji, he's from Hawaii but lives in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
We keep in contact. I played with him in Vegas, and he lives there in Arizona. So the
Nice.
end of this month is my plan, unless the roads are bad, because I don't like to fly. I'm going to be driving. So if there happens to be a storm right after Christmas, I won't be there. But my plan is to be there now, the end of the month.
Very good. Going back to Adam, he says he talked to Rick today. I think you mentioned this talking to him earlier today.
Yeah. Yes, Adam. Thank you. I appreciate your support, brother.
So just like Otto, Jimmy B wants to know when you're going back to Vegas.
I don't have any plans right now, but if I do, it'll be closer to summer, because there again, like I said, I'll be driving. So I'm pretty sure that I'll make it back this coming summer.
Nice. And 555s, he wants to know if you have Streets of Rage 2, and if so, can he come over and play?
I do have it. I do have it. I have, gosh, the last time I counted my games, I have over 26 systems and a little over 1,800 video games. I do
So,
collect. I don't. I think I had saw that go through the chat earlier. Somebody asked if it was ProCraps. John, I think it
yeah.
was ProCraps. Asked if this was a business of mine or if it was a collection. It is a collection. I actually have like 5 TVs set up on one wall, and then I have a TV on each of my walls. So I do like, sports book stuff out here too. I watch lots of football in my game room. Have a stand-up arcade machine. Just a hobby of mine.
So what is your stand-up machine? What game is that?
It's actually a 60 in one. So it has all
Oh
the
wow.
Pac-Mans, all the Donkey Kongs, has like Space Invaders, Frogger, Galaga, Centipede, a
Yeah.
lot of the good stuff, Frogger.
Yeah. And like you said, John was asking, is this a business? And uh, you and I have talked about your game collection from time to time, and you've got some phenomenal deals on
Oh yeah, no doubt.
buying some of your games.
Well, I even got like the Xbox One stand-up thing that if any of you guys are gamers or have been into like GameStop or whatever, I have that from GameStop. It's the Xbox One stand-up thing that they had there, the kiosk, and I have the Wii U kiosk also. I got those from GameStop because I got connections there.
Next, we've got Midwest Dice. David and Rick, love both your channels. Thank you both for all your videos. Midwest Dice, yeah, thanks for watching, man. We really appreciate it.
Definitely. Just a shout out to everybody watching right now, everybody that's going to be watching on both of our channels, man. We appreciate you guys. Without you guys, we'd be nothing.
Hawaii crap shooters out there watching, no fear, baby. Good to see you back, Rick.
Hey, brother Brian, what's going on, man? What's going on, Brian? No
No
fear,
fear, baby.
baby.
555 craps out saying tipping at that level is a tax on your bankroll. Yeah, it
It
is.
is. It is. And there again, that's why I said everybody has, I guess, different goals for different days. I don't always tip that heavy all the time. Like I said, if I don't have a huge bankroll, I don't constantly tip that heavy. But there again, when I go, I hope to win, but I go for fun.
Yeah.
But hey, back on that no fear real quick. Can I explain what that means? Because I think
Yeah.
some people might take that a little bit different than what my whole meaning behind the no fear is. So no fear, guys, to me, this is just how I look at no fear is that you build a map to success for that trip. Okay, so let's say I'm going to Black Hawk this weekend. I'll go with a strategy in mind that I want to start with. Of course, we all know that that may change based on what's going on bankroll wise, table wise, the way the dice are rolling and stuff. But the way I approach No Fear is that I go with a plan and I play that plan with no fear. So it doesn't, no fear doesn't mean go take $1,000 and put it on six. All right. Cause that's true gambling. If you want to be an advantage player, you still have to play smart. All right. I have another saying that I live by and I tell all my friends it's smart, focused, and disciplined. All right. And then you apply no fear to that. So you play smart, you play focused, you play disciplined. And what I mean with those is, discipline, for example, is the strategy you're going to play. So you stick to that strategy. You don't say, oh man, I'm down $300. So now I'm going to take $1,000 and put it on six. So the no fear means live or die with your plan, with your map, your roadmap that you're taking. All right. So don't fear the seven. I mean, you're either going to win or lose, and it is what it is. Don't fear losing. So take what you can afford to lose, and if you lose it, leave with a smile on your face. I mean, because we all know that the casino has the advantage. So we're hoping for a win. Play with no fear, play smart, focused, and disciplined, and just hope it goes your way. So
No fear is smart. It's the smart way.
no fear doesn't mean play stupid. All right, that's
Right.
because a lot of people will say you're playing wimpy or whatever. You're not playing with no fear. There again, like I said, smart, focused, and disciplined. The no fear means you're staying true to your plan. And at that point, if you're playing a lower level strategy, you're still playing with no fear. If the seven comes, it is what it is. It's because a lot of us go to the casino, and this is how I was in the beginning. Like I said, if you go back and watch some of my first live games, you'll see how afraid I was to lose $12. So you got to go with whatever you're willing to lose with the amount you're willing to risk at some points, and play with guts. No fear, baby. I mean, just whatever happens, happens. If you lose it, don't be all pissed off. I mean, you knew you had the chance to lose it.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by no fear. It's not don't play. No fear don't mean play stupid.
Yeah. All right, let's go back over to the Q&A. Just a couple of comments out there. Vince Armenti's out watching. He's talking about El Cortez.
Vince, brother, Vince. I love Vince's channel, man. I watch all his stuff. And so I'm sorry I missed that. Say that again.
I was going to just move on to the next one. G-Dub, he says, met one of the partners at El Cortez, and he actually sat down and gave us quite a history lesson on the casinos. I remember Mel talking about that too. Yeah, so great people there at El Cortez.
Definitely go see them.
Let's see here. East Coast Craps is asking a question, any poker there? And I'm assuming he's talking about Black Hawk.
In Black Hawk, yeah, I did see that come around when we were talking. There is both poker in both Black Hawk and Cripple Creek. You only have one place in Cripple Creek that offers poker. So if you're a huge poker fan, I would say stay away from Cripple Creek. Black Hawk, you have a few good choices, and they're really popular. And from what I've heard, I don't play poker, but I have some friends that do, and it's high quality stuff. They've got good venues there. I know that Golden Gates in Black Hawk has a really good one, and Ameristar has a really good one, and I know the Isle has gotten good reviews also.
Yeah, awesome. Lou Louie's out there. I met Lou in Hard Rock in Tampa a few weeks back, and we played on the Roll to Win. Yeah, I had a good time with that Roll to Win table. It was that was a lot of fun. All right, keep moving on here. Mark's also Lou Louie's also saying try to look at the mid-May time for Las Vegas. So trying to influence your decisions if you can.
That'd be fun. And there again, for all of you guys out there watching, I'm real down to earth. I'll play with anybody. If anybody comes to Colorado and you want to play with me, I can't guarantee you I can, but at least let me know the dates you're going to be there. And if I can make it, I'll make it.
Well,
I like meeting new people,
comment.
and we have a blast.
Yeah, along those lines, ProCraps, John, he's going to be in Colorado visiting friends, the Square Pair guys, and it says we all need to go do a session together.
Yeah, please, reach out to me and let me know when you're here. I'll definitely try to make it.
Okay, a few more. the California Craps Club. Rick is always helping other channels, especially new channels, and I can attest to that. You know, you and I have collaborated quite a bit, and especially when I first started, and you know, you gave me a lot of the courage to move forward. Um,
Right.
and also kind of sat me down and said, David, don't take this so seriously. Don't worry about the subscribers. They'll come or they won't come. Don't worry about it. And just have fun.
Exactly. Yeah, the thing we all need to realize for any new channels that are watching out there, you can succeed and you will succeed. Just be consistent with it. Because the thing is that there's going to be people that will relate to you. You know, your channel will have content that certain people may like better than my channel, and it has nothing to do with us as individuals and everything to do with relatability. You know, whether it's your personality or the content does matter, but just keep on keeping on, and you'll be fine.
A couple more. We've got Vince Armini out there again. Rick hit that hot shooter on Stadium
Oh
Craps.
yeah,
I remember that
I'll
video.
never forget that. Never forget that. That is on my channel if anybody wants to see it. It was back in June, so scroll through some of my videos. If you want to see that, I won $2,000 on that.
Yeah, yeah,
That was crazy. It's just a quick little video.
And you were there with Josie, and she got pretty excited about the thing too.
I actually punched her in the leg, and I didn't realize how hard I hit her because I was excited. So if you listen real close, you'll hear her say, "Ow!"
Ow.
And yeah. So it was, sorry, Josie, if you're watching.
Couple more. Let's see here. Armando Perez. Hello, Dave and Rick. Same bet. It's my favorite crap stockster. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. South Point Stickman don't like me much, even though I tip well. Yeah, you're not alone there, buddy. South Point is one of the only places that I've ever had any heat, and they just don't like a lot of people there.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And then our friend G-Dub. My regret of meeting Rick in Vegas was that we didn't get to play together very much. And that's one of the downfalls of the big get-togethers is it's hard to get us all together. We
It
can
is,
all be in
yeah.
Vegas at the same time, but we can't.
It's hard to get on the same table, or everybody, splits up. But yeah, G-Dub was amazing, man. I appreciate your support, G-Dub. And, hopefully one day we'll get back there together again.
Yeah. And then, oops, I missed this one. Procraps saying, it's great to see both David and Rick back on the tube. And that's a great segue into the next segment. So, Rick, we all know that I took several months off. I was off the air for about 6 months before starting things back up. And you've been a little scarce lately yourself. Can you talk a little bit about what's going on and what's the future hold?
Sure, yeah, laziness. It all basically started when I went back to work. Whoa, that's gonna be. Don't get dizzy, guys. So I work in the IT field, and I work for a school district here. We lost one of our IT people at the beginning of the year. Now, a school year is very, very busy to get started in IT. So basically, I was run ragged, and that was back in August. So that kind of put my channel behind a little bit. I just didn't have much time to do YouTube, and then sicknesses came. I got sick. With all this COVID stuff. And then so that made me even more lazy. And then after that, it's like, I don't feel like editing because you know how long it takes to edit.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just started looking at it and thinking, man, I just don't feel like spending, a few hours editing this and uploading it, getting the thumbnails, doing the blah, blah, blah. So that's kind of what happened is I've just been lazy. I still, even though the casino closed down the table, I still have quite a bit of live video I need to still edit and put out there. So I am going to get started. I keep saying I'm going to get started next week. That was about a month ago, and I still haven't. So I'm going to get started next week, guys.
Yeah.
But no, I do. Oh, sorry to interrupt. But I do have more live content coming. Let me throw this out there too for those of you that haven't seen because you're new to our channels or whatever. If you're interested in watching some of the cool YouTubers like Dave, like Mel from Craps Hawaii, Sleepy2525, if you go back on my channel to October of last year, 2020, not 2021, so you'll have to scroll way back there. I've got video of all of us playing live craps together. I did like a vlog with all of my friends, YouTube friends. And then more recently, any of you that are following the Chico twins, Hefe, excuse me, my dinner. Hefe came down from the Chico twins and played with me here a couple months ago. So I have live craps a few months back with Hefe. And I still have live video with him that I haven't put out. So I'm going to have more live content with Hefe. I still have some live content I haven't done from El Cortez that I still need to put out. So just stay tuned to my channel. I put out live craps on Thursday nights. But okay, back to you, Dave.
No, that's great, and I think a lot of people are asking questions about, hey, where's Rick? Or they were doing the same with me. Hey, where's Dave? And the truth is, we're not gamblers full time. We're not content creators full time, and unfortunately, our real life jobs and health get in the way from time to time. So, we do this as a hobby because we really like it. And Rick, we all hope to see you back doing your strategies and your live videos here before too long.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel a lot better, a lot more energetic. So I think it'll be sooner than later.
Awesome. All right, guys. Last chance to ask Rick a couple of questions. I'm going to do let's see here. Let's talk a little bit about what's coming up here in the near future. So coming up on December 6th, we've got Wager Me This. He's going to be here talking about sports betting, which is going to be a great time right before the college football bowl season begins. We'll hopefully get some good tips from Jacob over at Wager Me This. December 13th, we have the Midwest Atlantic Craps, Jeff from Midwest Atlantic Craps will be joining us. He is a self-proclaimed beginner on a dice controller's journey. So we're going to learn a little bit about what has he been doing, maybe offer a few tips and things like that for where he can go from there. And he's also going to be just returning from a craps cruise, and we'll get his take on that. December 20th, we're going to have a holiday special with Howard Newman. Howard's going to come back, and the plan was to actually talk about Florida and craps in Florida, but that's been put on hold. It looks like there's some legal issues that have to be overcome before they can actually start rolling the dice. But he will be here. We're going to pare it down to a couple of stories about craps and Howard's past, and have a good time with Howard. December 27th, I don't have anything scheduled right now, and in fact, I probably won't. I'll probably do some sort of either recorded video, or we might just go dark for that week. And then skip all the way up to January 17th. I just confirmed it earlier today. Tony Leo is going to return to the show and talk a little bit about craps and other games in the casino. You know, there's more than just craps out there. So that's what we've got coming up in the near future. All right, Rick, just coming back over to you, buddy. I just wanted to say thank you very much for taking an hour of your night and spending it with us. I can't believe it's been this long before I got you on the show.
Yeah, I'm honored, brother. I mean, anytime. We need to play for real again soon. We are talking about Albuquerque soon, so we do got to make that work.
Yep. And
Bird Dog's out there. Bird Dog's got to go too.
Yep, absolutely. I see a question coming in from the California Craps Club. Let's turn that off. What's up with your table? Stay tuned, guys. I hope to have that table here pretty soon. I'll go into more detail on that when I get the table, and we're going to be doing some videos on that. So stay tuned. I should have a practice table again soon. Let's see here. Waylon Stenger. Love Jacob's new aggressive play as well. All right, we'll see if we can get him to talk a little bit about craps as well as the sports. But the whole intent of this particular session will actually be sports betting. Let's see here. About Florida, they are trying to put a stay on the ruling tomorrow to get craps and roulette up and running. So, yep. So a lot of things going on around the nation, and we do hope that Florida can actually throw the dice before too long. All right, guys. I think that's going to do it for tonight's show. Thank you all very, very much, Rick. Appreciate it, brother. More than you know, man. I really appreciate having you on the show, guys. That's it. We'll see you guys next time.